Hi, this is the second part of 2 videos on installing Drupal on the WAMP server. At this point, you should have WAMP installed and the proper release of WAMP. You should have the Drupal files moved to the WAMP/www folder, and we're just about ready to get the installation underway. Before you do that, you want to open a browser and point it at localhost. I do that just to make sure that WAMP is running and that everything looks good. You get an information page, and this shows that I have PHP version 5.2, and that's good. If you have a version that's 5.3 or higher, that won't work with the current release of Drupal, so that's a bit of a problem. If you do, you need to get the proper release installed. And in order to kick things off, I'm going to do one bit of preliminary setup, which is to go to the PHP admin page and create a database to hold the files. If you come down here to the tray where you have an icon for WAMP, and there's an option for PHP My Admin, I'm going to select that, and I'm going to get a PHP My Admin page. This is the interface that allows you to work with the MySQL database on your machine. What I want to do now is create a new database. And you can name it anything you want. It doesn't have to be Drupal. I do it just because it's easy for me to remember. I select Drupal and then hit Create. And now I have a database. And that's all I need to do at this point. So I'm going to close this window out. I'm going to go back to localhost page. And now I'm going to point it where I've put the Drupal files. And because I just did a copy, those are in a folder that's got the same name as the release, which is Drupal-6.14. When I pointed at that, I'm now part of a script for installing Drupal. I select Install in English, and the next page I get is a requirements problem. But it's not serious. It's telling me that I have to copy this file to this file. It means I have to change the name default.settings.php to simply be settings.php. So I'm going to go open a file explorer. This is pointing at the WAMP installation. There's the www folder. Here's the Drupal installation. It said to go to the sites subfolder and to the default subfolder there. And here is the folder it says, or the file it says it needs to be renamed. So I'm going to do a copy on that file. Going to paste in a new version, and then I'm going to make sure its name is settings.php. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to return to my browser. There's a try again option. I'm going to hit that. And that's good. It's now ready to do the database configuration. I have to give this the same name that I entered into the PHP My Admin page. And you may remember I called it Drupal, so I'm going to give that name again. The database username, if you did a default installation, should be root. And the password field should be blank. Got that set up. I hit save and continue. And a good sign will be if it says it's copying files. Installing Drupal. Very good. And now it's asking me to configure the site. What name do you want to call? This can be anything you like. My site, your email address, you can leave that as is. Important bit here is the administrator account. You can make up any username you like, but I'm going to call it Drupal, so I have less to remember. I have to give it a valid email address. It doesn't really matter what it is. You won't be getting email from your site unless you configure that later. And you have to give it a password, and it should be something that you can remember. So I'm just going to use Drupal for the password too. Obviously not for security reasons, just for memory reasons. And if everything's okay, I should be good to go. Drupal installation complete. Don't care about the warning in this case. And click this to be at your new site. And if you get to this screen, you've got a working CMS. It means you have a web server that's running, connected to a database, talking to your CMS. And at this point, this should be good news. So we're going to halt right here.